Blksports980 is sponsored by Fresh Rose Clothing. Check out the new collection at freshrose.co.
You are now tuned to the other side with BOK Sports 980.
Welcome back. You are now tuned into the other side of sports, BOK Sports 980. As you can hear, young, this is not my Barry White voice, young. This is the jump. Feel like Logan caught me in the corner, gave me the Honda hands in my stomach. No! My head hurt. Yeah, I'm out here. I'm really putting my life on the line out here for this sports culture, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here, dog. But we got D, we got Jeff, we got Ern.
Yeah.
We in the building.
Yeah.
Young, speaking of life on the line, did y'all see the Get Out jump?
Yeah, that jump was vicious. Saw that the first thing came out.
That jump was like that, dog. Now, if you ain't see the Get Out jump, then you need to get out now. Like, just get out of the chat, because the spoilers all coming.
That's right. You already know.
Dog,
Come on, man. You gonna spoil the joint? Because people ain't gonna see it if you spoil
That jump went out for a while, though, so.
That's what I'm saying, young. Okay. This jump, 10 out of 10 stars.
Jeff, you seen it too?
Yeah, I seen it. You know that it's been out for a minute if I caught that jump.
Right. I thought I was getting ready to say. The fact that you said that statement let me know you saw it right away. I don't even know why I asked.
But yeah, the jump is vicious, though. It's such a deep movie. It's I don't think I was telling somebody it kind of had a Spike Lee feel to it. It just was missing out. It was just missing the one scene where the camera like What?
No. This Drake was borderline genius. Not taking anything from Spike, but this has nothing like a Spike Lee touch on the Drake.
I thought it had a Spike Lee feel to it. I thought it. I mean, don't get it twisted. The movie was way better than what Spike Lee, has done. I think he could only imagine to do something this great, because the jump was flawless. It mixed comedy and thriller together flawlessly. I never seen that done before.
But hold. In fairness, like we could maybe say what Spike has done of late. Like, let's not talk about movies like, X and, things on the throwback tip. So, I just want to throw that in there.
Let me change my statement a little bit. So not about the quality of the movie, like this movie was so much better than the Spike Lee movie. What I mean to say is the little subtle intricacies are so much different from Spike's in the messages, because Spike's, everything is so blatant. Like from the beginning to the end, the message is, it's so blatant. The way they did this, the reason I say it was so genius, because like once you get to the end and figure out what happened, this is one of those movies where you have to go back again so you can pick up on every message that you missed, or like little signal or like foreshadowing that they kind of put out.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back. This jump, there's articles written about it, all the symbolism that's in it. Like, that jump just takes it up to 99. Like, cause after you watch it, and then with all the dialogue around it, it's like it's so much stuff you would have missed. Like, you almost gotta see it 2 times to really catch everything. Jump is a phenomenal movie, yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think it probably helped Jordan Peele, the fact that he's interracial, because even though it's things that obviously all of us know, but sometimes like the nuances and stuff like can be missed on someone who doesn't technically come from both worlds or intermingle consistently in both worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a great film, man. The trailer didn't divulge at all what the movie was about. And when I saw the trailer initially, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go see that joint. You know what I'm saying? When I went to go see it, I was like, wow, this is nothing what I expected at all. Like, the movie had you guessing the whole time, like, what was really going on. And it wasn't until the very end where you started to see what was actually going on. Like, to the very end of the movie, where it started like coming together what was actually happening. Because up until that point, you didn't know. You could speculate, but it was hard to like really understand what was going on until then. I was like, wow, that was a slick way of doing the whole film. I think too the fact that the bar was kind of low for it. Like I didn't have like high expectations about the movie, and it wasn't until I saw it that I was like, wow, it kind of like surprised me. And I think that's why it came off to be such a great film. And now it's like the #1 film in America. Like everybody's going to go see it.
John was genius. Speaking of what's going on and finding out what's happening, what's going on in Washington right now, dog? Is he in AA meetings or what's going on, young? Because there's all these swirling reports. All that, it sounds like slander. I feel like we've been here before. And the Redskins about to botch the best thing that happened to our franchise in the last 3 decades ever with this whole Scott McLuhan thing, dog. What's going on, dog? Aaron, please tell me what's going on with this.
It sounds like this is kind of the guesstimation aftermath after that Chris Cooley kind of implication that Scott McLuhan was drinking again. So now everybody kind of assumes that's what's going on. And to be honest, from the outside looking in, the way things are kind of operating, it's almost no other explanation for what's going on. Because free agency started today at 12, and they're saying Eric Schaefer is taking the calls from the agents instead of Scott McLuhan. I mean, I'm glad that Bruce Allen isn't taking the calls and doing the negotiating, but at the same time, the whole reason we brought Scott McLuhan in because he's like a savant, like his football mind is absurd compared to everybody else we have in the building. So it's a little hard to figure out what's going on without, especially with the team not divulging anything.
Yeah, it's a crazy time to not be in the building, bro. How you gonna not be in the building and the free agency period just started and y'all have like $58 million to spend? Y'all got plenty of cash, and he's deciding. Again, it may be some truth to what Cooley is saying, because didn't McLuhan's wife come out and say what was alleged was not true about his drinking?
Right. She said, well, Chris Russell came out and said that he got sent home on the 20th of February and told not to come back.
What?
His wife went on Twitter and said, that's a lie. That's not what happened. And Mike Jones, who I think works for the Washington Post, came out and said, well, he was told to go home and take care of his family situation, or that he's at home taking care of a family situation and he'll be back as soon as it's taken care of. And then his wife came out again and said that's the accurate report.
So yeah, like if y'all could fill me in, like it's been a whirlwind. Like I kind of know obviously that he hasn't been around, but like the drinking and all that type of theory and those things are new to me. And of course I don't get, the Cooley or none of them, the shows up here. So like what's the whole, like what are they trying to say? Like it's a situation of your man Sarkisian type of deal? Like they trying to say like he's alcoholic or?
Yeah, because he was out of football before because he had a drinking issue. Because remember, he was with San Fran and they were killing. Then he was with Seattle and they were killing as far as the talent coming in. So he's almost like what appears to be one of the best football minds as far as evaluation in football. For him to be completely out of football, and his job was basically coming up with scouting reports and just selling them to teams from the outside looking in, people are like, what's going on? But he was like a certified alcoholic to where he basically couldn't be around facilities. So he said he had taken care of that issue when he ended up being brought on to the Redskins. But so everybody's assuming the fact that he's away just means he's back to drinking. That's the only thing people can picture that kind of makes sense, because this is the time of year where the GM has to be around.
That's right. You already know.
At the combine.
And wasn't it also too that Cooley was saying that because he hasn't signed Kirk Cousins to an extension that he may be drinking again or something like that?
That was the angle.
That's how it all started.
It's obvious what's being done out here. It's on a nightly basis. I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here. But
we got to keep in mind, that's how Cooley sometimes, like, this is his MO. Whenever he wants to get a message out there, he'll basically say something and pretend like he doesn't know, but he works in the Redskins facility. Like he's paid by the Redskins. So when he tries to act like, I'm just a radio guy, I'm guessing, there's no facts. It's his way of kind of releasing.
And Snyder owns that station. So like, you coming from two different sides of it. Like you said, working in the facility and for the station that Snyder owns. So it's really no way around it.
Nonetheless, I'm troubled, dog. I'm troubled. This guy is the best thing that happened to the Redskins ever. And somehow, some way, we botch it. Somehow, back to 4-12 we go. Kirk Jones a debacle. Everything. It's just, I don't know how in one offseason everything just fall apart, though. Like, we can't. Then they give Jay Gruden an extension. Where they do that at, though?
And it was so unnecessary too. Like he still had 2 years.
Yeah, he had 2 years and give him 2 years more.
Yeah, so I was with y'all initially, but last night I was thinking about it, and there's kind of 2 situations that popped into my head that would explain why they did that, and also maybe why I might be okay with it. So with this being Jay Gruden's last year before, or I guess he got a year coming up and then his last year, he kind of has the mindset where he has to win now. And Kirk, it's in his best interest to have Kirk Cousins be the quarterback, given there's a lot of uncertainty if Kirk ends up moving on. This 2-year extension might give him a little more leeway and flexibility with being okay with Kirk not being the starter and not necessarily having to take a step forward as far as wins next year.
I was gonna say, I hear you, but like to me, like you could still do, one without the other. And what I mean is, like, if the front office really believes that Gruden's still a good coach, then, you can wait. And it don't matter whether Kurt's going to be here or not. You're cool with Gruden moving forward with whoever, the next quarterback would be. So, if you convey that message to him, like that you have all the utmost confidence in him moving forward, I don't really think it's necessary, because at the end of the day, we know the front offices lie to you anyway. They tell you one thing and then you be out the door the next. And that's for anybody that's under, that's a head coach, player, or whatever. So, like, I hear what you're saying, but I just still don't feel like that just because of that, like you had to give him an extension if you really truly believe that he could get the job done as a head coach.
Right, but you got it from the team standpoint, that makes perfect sense. But you got to look at it from Jay Gruden's standpoint as well. You've already seen how they operate behind the scenes with leaking stuff kind of in a separate, compartmentalized from management, basically leaking their own stuff through Chris Cooley and Sean McVay. So, I mean, I don't know. They also reported last night that Jay Gruden doesn't love Kirk Cousins either. Like, he likes him, but he doesn't love him.
Nah, wait.
No. That came from 2 different people inside the building.
I mean, I don't care, but this goes to what you're saying about the propaganda, though. So I don't care what they're saying. Like, my actions and my eyes and what I've seen since the 2 of them been together tell me otherwise. You wouldn't agree with that?
But the part you can't let out of the situation or the conversation is winning in the NFL. If you don't win, you get fired.
Right.
Kirk Cousins gave him the best chance to win. He has had a lot of success with Kirk Cousins. So I'm not saying he doesn't like Kirk or he feels like I feel about Kirk. He likes him. He doesn't love him the way the media will have you believe that Jay Gruden is so tied to Kirk and wants everybody to pony up to $24 million. That's what I'm saying. And 2 separate people with direct conversations with people inside the building reported that last night on an out-of-market TV show.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I mean, free agency starts. You got a lot of different things. The draft's coming up. A lot of different things. Have y'all been watching the Combine stuff?
Yeah, I definitely watched the Combine. And
who catch your eye, though? Who catching your eye with that, John? I seen some 4.22s.
Oh yeah, he's talking about John Ross, the wide receiver from Washington.
That's my new superstar. I need him, though.
That's elite speed right there. Only problem with John Ross is I haven't looked at any game film yet. This is just plainly just going off some other stuff. Is that he has a problem with staying healthy, and shortly after he ran that 4.22, he pulled up and it was grabbing his calves. Talking about he had a calf injury. And then he already had a shoulder injury. And I think he just got surgery today on that. So it's one thing to run a 4.22. You said what?
I was going to say, I hear you, but he did play the last year. So
Yeah,
I mean, he was there and he caught 17 touchdowns. So now, I mean, I feel what you're saying. I just don't. To me, like he's still not. He's not really a big guy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's almost like he reminds me of what's his name? The one out Arizona.
John Brown.
Yeah, John Brown. That's who like he reminds me of or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I'm always like weary of like the smaller, super fast guys because like most of the time outside of like Deshaun Jackson, like you can only do but so many things with them. You know what I mean? You try to put them in all these different schemes and like gadget plays and to get them in space, but you can't say line up and go make a play. You know what I mean? For most of them.
Cause that's how I feel too. Cause I feel like D-Jax is the only one that's really been successful at it.
Right.
Because you have, I mean, what's his name did pretty good in Carolina. Not last year, the year before last.
Tay again
out of Ohio State. I mean,
but he's 6 feet.
Yeah, he is 6 foot, but he has a small frame. What about the kid from the kid from the Rams? He hasn't done well.
Austin.
Yeah, I think he's a gadget player.
Yeah, he's a gadget guy. And then you have the other guy that was with Seattle when they drafted him. His name is drawing a blank. And then he went to the Jets.
He broke his leg. Oh, nah, you talking about Percy Harvin. So those are guys that are just like that straight line speed type guys. It's hard to like find plays. But I think he's a better receiver than them, though. I mean, he may be, but it's just like you said, like those type of guys is typically they might have like one good year, but they're not consistently going, year in and year out. You know what I mean? Because either they're going to get banged up because they're not big to begin with, and like I said, they just can't really consistently get open because of their size. But I mean, you might be right though. I think he might have better upside than some of those other guys, but I'm still always weary of it.
Yeah, especially with the shoulder surgery. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, what I will say about him, I know we kind of a week early on the wide receivers, but once you watch his games, D, you're going to see Deshaun Jackson when you're watching him.
Okay.
Like his ability to track the ball like in the air, like a 6'4", 6'5" receiver.
The Bama nice, though.
He has great ball skills. He has good lateral movement for a guy that runs that fast. Like most of those fast guys, like you said,
the straight
ahead. But no, he has the shiftiness and everything. You're going to be like, this dude is like a faster Deshaun Jackson. And he's a little bit bigger. So, I mean, that's for next week. But
yeah.
So I say it's normally the case, but he's not a gadget guy, trust me.
Okay, I got you.
Now, that's what I say too.
Now, the other guy, Obi Melifonwu, I can't even pronounce that last name. But the guy from Connecticut, the safety, 6'4", like 220.
All African.
Bruh, the Joker jumped 44 inches in the vertical and was mad. How you be upset at 44-inch vert?
He probably did the 46 when that joint, you know what I mean, when he was practicing.
He had to. Only be blown to get, because he had 44. He looked at the judge. He said 44. The band was like, I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? Then he ran like a 4.4, something like that, a sub 4.4 on top of that.
4.4 flat, 4.40 out there, 6'4".
6'4", and then he had a crazy broad jump. I mean,
put him at receiver. I drafted him and put him at receiver immediately.
Hey, Aaron, he's extending like his draft stock. He's gonna be like Byron Jones. Remember Byron Jones when Dallas drafted him in the first round? He was like kind of an unknown commodity, and then like he went to the combine, showed off, and then Dallas drafted him really early, and everybody's like, that could have been a reach, but he's actually shown that his athleticism translated to the field. Boy, you can't be 6'4" and be this ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like it's only ever since, like, I feel like Javon Curse was like the first one around that size, but ever since him, it's just like second nature for these athletes to be like freakishly, like putting up these type of stats, though. It just doesn't really make sense. Like, it's like, how is this humanly possible? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
I was surprised until I saw his last
cyborgs.
Don't listen to this. He's an idiot.
Oh, man.
All right, that's what we got to say about that.
So what about these running backs out here?
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I know. Give me the breakdown, D. Give me the breakdown.
I think, okay, so Fournette, he came into to the combine. You know, okay, first of all, you know, everybody knows Fournette did not play.
Is he AP? Is he a new AP?
Nah. He's not AP. No stretch of the imagination. But I'm going to tell you this. Okay, so he didn't play in the Citrus Bowl because he was saying he was getting ready for the combine. So he opted not to play, and that was kind of a big deal. He showed up to the combine, 240 pounds. Normally he plays around like 230, maybe 235, but people are like, oh my goodness, he's 240. And he could be out of shape. 40-yard dash happens. Bama ran a 4.51. Jokers was like, are you serious? To be 6'2", 240, and then run a 4.51? Like, people couldn't believe it. And when I looked at his game tape, I mean, everybody knows Fournette, man. I mean, the Joker runs he's like a steamroller. He just runs through everything, bro. Like a battering ram. Violent stiff arms. I mean, carries defenders. He has better burst than what I expected. And he always falls forward, man. And when I look at him, he's definitely solidified probably the top running back spot for probably most teams in the draft because of just his raw power, you know what I'm saying, in the run game. I mean, crazy touchdown. I think he had, 22 touchdowns. So he shows he's a playmaker. He, you know what I'm saying, he can play the game of football. So
he's your top running back on the board, no question.
You know what?
I think that's a mistake, man.
You know what? Honestly, though, this is my problem. This is the only thing about ranking guys in the top. You know, people talk about what's your top rank at position. To me, it's all about what type of offense or defense your team runs. Depends upon how you value a player. Like me personally, you know, I'm a Giants fan, so I wouldn't want Fournette. I wouldn't rate him number one. I'm gonna tell you who I think the best back is, and I you know, just in my eyes, I think it's unfortunate, but I still think Joe Mixon is the best running back. Like when I watch his game tape, this dude has natural running back. He's probably the best pure runner in the draft. Like, period. He's not the fastest guy. He doesn't run the hardest. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But when you talk about jump cuts and being patient, he almost has a little bit of Le'Veon Bell in him in terms of his patience when running the football and letting his block set up. And he does a great job of like decelerating. And then when he sees that gap or in between the tackles or something, boy, he hits that joint and he gone. You know what I'm saying? He's taking off. I mean, I think he was like top 5 in the nation in runs over 30 yards or plus. So it shows you that despite he may not be I think he's probably running like a 4.5 at his pro day in terms of his 40. But this guy, I think he has the best instincts out of all the running backs in terms of just pure running the ball. And he can catch. I mean, in the Texas Tech game, he caught a one-handed pass and got loose. So to me, I like Joe Mixon, but his pass is going to be what's going to hurt him. You know, it's going to drop him down probably a lot of draft boards, maybe even off the draft possibly.
Yeah, see, to me, it's still Cook, man. And I hear you on Mixon, but I don't think it's nothing that Cook can't do that Mixon can do. And he has more speed than him. I think he's caught the ball more consistently. He's a complete back. Like I'm a, you know, one might say I'm biased because I'm Florida State, but like, I know,
you biased.
But I said the same thing when I watched Ezekiel. I said the same thing, and this is early on. I said it about various positions. I said about Stafford as a freshman at Georgia. I mean, some people when you watch them play, they just stand out on the field, the court, whatever sport it is. They stand out, and like to me, ever since I've been watching Cook. You know, because he's been there 3 years, and there's other running backs that have come. The only one that's come in that, you know, was better that I've seen was Ezekiel Elliott. Like everybody else, like to me, like as far as all around complete back, I mean, I'm sorry, that's not taking anything away from those guys. Like I think Fournette is sick. Yeah, I think Fournette is sick, but you know what I mean. That style of running, like you know what I mean. It like because like you said, he takes a lot of punishment. And, you know, when you get to the next level, like those guys will put you out quick if you continue to run like that. And so I know he's a big dude, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're not invincible. And I think with, like I said, with Cook's ability to protect the quarterback, because he's a good pass blocker, like I said, receiver out the field, a game breaker with the speed and the cuts. I mean, I've just seen it all from him, and I think he's going to be the top running back out of this class.
Yeah, Mixon did have the ankle injury also towards the.
I mean, Cook has injuries too. That Bama be getting hurt for, you know what I'm saying? He be battling injuries too.
Check his numbers in the tape, man. And is he really injured? You know what I'm saying? When you tally him up at the end of the season.
And I'm gonna tell you what, Mixon had more receiving yards than Dalvin Cook did last year. He almost had 600 yards receiving.
I mean, we had a true freshman quarterback, which is funny because you would think that they would just throw him the ball, like just dump it off, but like that can't go, unnoticed when you're dealing with, obviously a quarterback passing the ball and making the reads to the dumps or, whatever type of the offense that Fisher was running. We kind of really throw the ball down more, but like he doesn't really dump it off. And typically freshmen don't really check down. Young quarterbacks in general, even when you talk about moving to the next level, they don't really use their check downs like they should. So, I mean, I think that's something because you got to think they had Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma. He's been there 3 years. So, yeah. I mean, just to throw that in there.
Oh my gosh, man.
Hold on. Aaron, did you want to comment? Or Harold, did you want to comment on Mixon or Fournette?
Mixon nice, dog. If he ain't still that girl, then Bama be at the top of the list.
But he be the top of the heap, but that's just my opinion, though. And I like them all, but I think he's the best pure runner. Aaron, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, just about as far as Fournette goes, I think he's the only one that's a play, like a game changer, if I can say that. Dalvin Cook, like I agree with most of what Jeff said, but tying it to what D said is his success is very dependent on the offensive coordinator, because there are a lot of teams in this league that aren't going to spread your running back out and let him play wide receiver, or aren't going to throw a lot of those wheel routes and things like that make him dynamic the way he was at Florida State. If you're going to have him line up in an I formation and run him 25 times like behind the lineman, he's not going to look the way he did at Florida State. So for me, I feel like Leonard Fournette is the one that you can take in the first round, or at least in the top 15, and feel like you're guaranteed, as long as he's durable, because that's his biggest issue. He missed 5 games last year, and then he also missed one that he decided he just wasn't going to play in the bowl game. So durability is his issue. I feel like he's the safest running back and the only one that has the potential to be a game changer. So I think that's why they refer to AP, but his ability is nowhere near what AP is.
Nothing like AP. To me, his running style is more like almost like a more athletic.
Thank you guys who tune in to the BLK Sports 980 Podcast, representing the DMV. Right quick, just want to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play. Make sure you also follow us at BLK Sports 980 on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. You can even email us your thoughts, show topics, and more at blksports980@gmail.com. Last but not least, let's spread this word. Now back to our show.
Laterally, Brandon Jacobs. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
He's a big, you know what I'm saying? Like I would probably put him more in that category, but not AP though.
Who was the guy that was with the Rams for all those years that ended up with the Patriots with the dreads? That was kind of like, like
the dread.
Broken
Steven
wrist.
Jackson.
Steven Jackson. He reminds me a lot of Steven Jackson.
Yeah. That's probably a really good comparison. And I love Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook is probably the new age running back. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he can catch and run and he can do it all.
He's Freeman. But look at the situation Freeman is in Atlanta.
But I think he's better than Freeman though. Like I said, I watched Freeman play too.
I think he's better than Freeman. Yeah, I think he's better than Freeman too.
I think he's better than Freeman, dog. I mean, we obviously it's all only time's gonna tell. But y'all are here for me when it's all said and done about it.
Only if you're right though. Only if he's right.
Only if he's right. If you're right, he gonna be copping please if you're wrong.
But that's why I'm telling you. Like I would stake the bread on it that I'm gonna be right. But like you said, we'll see.
But I still just think Mixon has the best pure running instincts, and you can't teach it. You can't teach running instincts.
I agree with that. Instinctually, he's by far, I feel like the best. But I feel like his 40 time and also the situation is going to remove him from
that's the
being
problem.
the guy right away. Right. He has to wait till his second contract almost, I feel like, to have the kind of success that he would have if he kept his hands to himself.
Yeah, he can't be hitting youngins. He can't be tearing up parking tickets and throwing in Bama's faces. He got to chill.
I
hear what you're
saying on that, Aaron, but you gotta think about how the NFL works. Like you literally only one play away from being there, so I don't think it'll even take like once he gets the opportunity, like to get in.
Once
there,
he cooks, like, it's over. They're gonna forget about everything. Like Kobe Bryant.
I hope so.
Or what?
But it's a new day. When he has his first 100-yard game and they replay that tape on Sports Center.
They're gonna do a what's that joint called? When they on ESPN.
It's gonna be another
the not top 10 joints.
Nah, when they do like the little documentaries.
Oh, you're 30 for 30.
30 for 30. Yeah, it's gonna be a 30 for 30.
E60, John.
Yeah, or the E60 on that one. Yeah, the E60, they get all in depth on his upbringing and revisiting the tape with the camera in his face, interviewing him, his folks he grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, young.
People being outraged all of a sudden, like it just happened. Not that I condone it at all.
What about Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara? Like, what are y'all seeing those dudes?
All right, so McCaffrey. Let me just get him out the way real quick. So McCaffrey feels disrespected because he's a white guy playing a skill position that's typically played by a black player. And he feels like, he had a 2,000-yard rushing season and, over 600 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns and total touchdowns and another 1,600-yard season again and over 16 total touchdowns as a running back. And he feels as though if he was black, he would be probably more talked about and being in the top 10. Now, I went to the game tape. That's all. I don't care about what anybody says. I don't care who it is. NFL Network, ESPN, I don't care. I'm looking at for my own eyes. And what I saw, I can see why people are not putting him as a top running back. Because first of all, I know he ran like a 4.45 or something like that. Was it something like that? He ran a 4.45 or 4.5 or I think
he ran 4.4. I thought it was 4.4 something.
Something like it was like a sub 4.4 that he ran, and I was like, oh, he ran pretty good. But you look at the game tape, bruh. First of all, the Bama's lateral movement is not good, and he's not real shifty. So whenever you see him make cuts, it's almost like all his speed stops, and then he has to read like
a punt returner.
Yeah, he can't when you watch like Mixon or Dalvin Cook or even Kamara, when they make their cuts, they're still moving in full speed. They're not like losing all this momentum and speed to make their next move. He loses too much on the cuts. He has no lateral quickness. He doesn't have a burst either. Like coming to the hole, there's no when coming between the tackles, I don't see no like pure acceleration going to the hole. And a lot of times he doesn't seem patient. He'll just run into the pile a lot. I'm like, what are you doing? You just run into the pile? And for me, I could see why. And also, not a knock on him, but Stanford had a ridiculous offensive line. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? They're just one of those teams that always has good O-lines, like Wisconsin. Like their O-line is always some of the best in the league. Alabama, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like he is a great route runner. I give him that. I mean, his father was Ed McCaffrey, so his father was a wide receiver in the NFL, played for the Giants and some other teams.
Broncos, most notably.
Yeah, that's when he really made his career. But he is a natural catcher, and it showed at the combine. Like him catching the ball, it was almost like effortless. He wasn't even thinking about it. He has, like I said, with the 4.5, he has decent top end speed, and he does well on like the play I see him really do good on is like the stretch play, like the run stretch. He does a good job of like doing that one cut downhill. But outside of that, if it's not like a big hole or a big lane, I just
to me he's Deion Lewis. I see him as Deion Lewis. That's the type of game he has.
Him a lot. Go ahead.
But I mean, he's a guy who can catch out of the backfield. Given the right system, he can be serviceable.
He'd be a great Patriots running back.
Yeah, you can get him out in space. You know what I mean? But it's just like you said, like from the description, you're talking about like somebody that's a Reggie Bush. That's not even a Reggie Bush. You know what I mean? So
it's Reggie Bush without Reggie Bush's athleticism.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we know how Reggie Bush's NFL career has been, like, obviously, particularly as a runner. So like when you're kind of getting measured up against these guys, like you said, that's just how it's going to be. I mean, now obviously he could go out there and prove everybody wrong, but Like
Right.
you said, when you go to the tape, like it is what it is.
And he had a. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
He reminds me of the guy in San Diego. Is it Brandon Oliver? He reminds me a lot.
Oh,
of him,
yeah,
where it's like small frame, kind of can run between the tackles if there's a big hole. Because like Jarlton said, the holes he was running through, they look like Dallas O-line.
Yeah.
Against most of the teams he was playing. So a lot of his runs look like punt returns by the time he gets to the second level. Because it's basically him and one guy in the secondary, and he always takes the long route instead of making a quick cut or making a guy miss. He's basically trying to get to the sideline faster or get the angle versus putting a move on somebody to make a miss. So it's just, I mean, he's not a first round player to me. I wouldn't think about touching him in the first round.
I wouldn't either. And you would have to have a system where you would throw to the backs a lot. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get like the best out of him. Because that's where he really shines, is in the receiving game, in my opinion. As a runner, he's good, but I just think if you don't have the O-line to open up the lanes for him, he's just going to run into the pile. And that's no disrespect. I'm just saying.
Power runner.
Real quick, my sleeper running back is my man Alvin Kamara. Like, granted, he had limited starts and experience. He doesn't have a whole lot of carries and attempts. He had 2 knee injuries as well. But that boy's lateral movement is on 99.9999. Like, when he moves, it reminds me of Arian Foster, of how smooth his lateral movement is. It's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? He has enough speed to get away. He didn't run a great 40 time, but again, I don't put too much stock into the combine because, I mean, how many times is somebody gonna be running with their hand in the ground and then running with no pads on, you know what I'm saying, 40 yards down the field? Like, so they need to change the combine 40 time, in my opinion, because it doesn't really tell really how a player is on the field. Because it's just,
they ain't changing that, dog. They get too many numbers watching that.
I know they do.
Right,
I know
right.
I understand.
A business out here.
It's a big time business.
The whole Joan and Indy, you know, like everything going on around it. You know, but I feel you though. Like it's one of those things where it should have always been like just to kind of like give you like, okay, if this person, we already got them rated here, so it should either really boost them, but it shouldn't really hurt them too bad. Like if you watch all of this film on a player for 3 years, and then all of a sudden they have a bad combine workout in your mind, so you just erase for one day. You know what I mean? You erase what you saw 3 years of tape on. That just doesn't it just doesn't really make any sense to me. So like I never understood it. That's just like how you had them guys that have come from nowhere and had amazing combine performances, and then when they got moved up in the draft and went high, they didn't do anything in the league.
Right.
So yeah.
Aaron, what was your take on Alvin Kamara? Aaron, what was your take on Alvin? Did you look at any of his game film?
Yeah, as usual, I agree with 95% of what you said. The only issue I had was if your own coaching staff doesn't feel like you're the best player on the team, like what's the reason? I need to know why.
Yeah, because he was splitting. Yeah, that's the thing.
He had a game where he had 6 carries, a game where he had 3, a game where he had 2, a game where he had 8, a game where he had 7. He only had 103 carries the whole year. Like 500, season. Almost 600 yards, but he still ran 5.8. So it's like the numbers, like the production looks like it's there, like the ability, because 5.8 that's really good for a running back, especially in the division he played in. But to
he played
have that many games where you're only rushing the ball 6 times, 3 times, it's like I would have to go back and see, did he get hurt in that game? Is that why he only had that many carries? Or was he just not necessarily always the best guy at that position? Did he have games where he didn't flash, or he just wasn't in it? So that's what kind of what had me like think twice about taking him early. But like you said, the Bama's lateral quickness and like his just the smoothness in the flow and his like running back moves, it would make you want to pull the trigger. It'd be like if you get him behind Dallas O-line,
oh my goodness,
this Bama could be crazy. But at the same time, I just have to have answers to those questions before I could do that in the first round.
Yeah, I like the Arian Foster comparison. That's a good one. Moving on, how about them Wizards? Them Wizards are frying.
You was going on them last week.
Last week
they lost 2, and you was going on them.
Already got him a dustpan. Already got him some disinfectant wipes and cleaned up his mess, though.
Harold, you was dogging them out. They only lost 2 games after the All-Star game.
Bama's like, relax. You know what I'm saying?
In Harold's defense, though, those were terrible losses, though. Especially the Philadelphia game. That was really
one was unexcusable. That was the one that was right.
I mean, like I said, that was right off of it. Like, and they have the extended All-Star break now. So, like, I think this might only be like the second year that it was this long. Might have been the first. So that's something new them getting used to. That was the whole thing on the Philly joint. Jazz is a good team, and Gordon was cooking like you said.
Yeah.
How big is the Bajorn pickup, though?
Bro,
is he proven to be worth a first round pick?
Man, he cooking. Man. He cooking, dog. He's that scorer that we were coveting off the bench. You know, like we were talking about, you know, why we didn't get what's his name out in Houston, the one from the Lakers.
Lou Williams.
Yeah, Williams. Bama's mentioned Swaggy and all these, man.
Bro, no Swaggy on this network though.
No,
you know
sir.
Yeah, man. He's been killing off of the bench, man, giving us much needed production and then outside shooting, and especially in this new NBA. So yeah, that's definitely been a top notch pickup. Like Ernie, this might be Ernie's best stretch though between last year.
And to watch how Otto has handled the transition because he's cutting into his minutes. But I haven't seen him be disgruntled. Like, it's just a new Wizards team, dog. Yeah. These Bama's love playing together. Brandon Jennings looking sharp. Yeah. Like, definitely an upgrade from Ty Burke. Trey Burke.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Trey Burke. But the thing is, though, Harold, you was hating on Jennings because you thought he was going to be a black hole. But you were thinking about Brandon Jennings from Milwaukee, not like Brandon Jennings after that. Because even in New York, he showed that he could actually be like a regular point guard and not just try to score every single time he had the ball. And he showed that the other night when they had that comeback win against who they play, Aaron, on that comeback win. They were down by 17.
Oh,
was it Orlando? Orlando, right? Yeah, Orlando. Yeah. So, hey, for Bono, that Bama's 3-ball is if he's open, bro, it's cookies.
He was looking like Peja Stojakovic out there.
Yes,
I couldn't believe it.
He was looking like Peja, just like him. Like, give him a little bit of cash.
This Bama might be better, though. This Bama is stroking it down.
Come on, see the hyperbole is back in action.
Yeah, Harold is the king of hyperbole.
No, the Bama is frying, dog. Bama coming off the bench, putting up 27.
Peja fried for 8 years.
But that's what I'm saying. That don't constitute 8 seasons, dog. Like, slow your roll. That's like Gentry talking about Kawhi like Jordan out here. I'm like, chill out, dog. Like Kawhi probably might be the 3rd best player in the league now, but Jordan, dog, like stop it. And you coach in the NBA. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So
I would give Kawhi being the best two-way guard in the league, but I wouldn't ever put him on.
But he more like a forward though. He a 3. He can guard the 2s, but like he not really a guard though. Like he's really a forward, like LeBron and KD in them. Like at 6'8".
And people love giving LeBron like a lot of defensive credit. So don't attack my next statement. He's a great off-ball defender. I don't think LeBron's a great on-ball defender. Kawhi Leonard might be the best on-ball defender, especially on the perimeter in the league. Like his ability to move his hips for somebody that size and not necessarily have to kind of like send his man to the bigs all the time. Just defensively, he's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's no question. He's the best on-ball defender, and then the best probably defender. I mean, then you would say Draymond Green. Plus, LeBron's in his 14th year, so that always has to be factored in. It's like Bama's forget how long he's been playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really think about it because he still is like number 2 in minutes and all this craziness. But I think over the years, due to that, like his on-ball defense has definitely declined. But like you said, he still has off the ball defense. Is still the passing lanes, chasing down on the blocks. Yeah, he's still grade A with that.
And then can still score 30 points on the offensive end. And a lot of times, if you play that much defense and that well at defense, you don't have enough legs left to score on offense.
Right. Well, that's what they train you to say and think. But the reality of it is, we know in the era of basketball that we grew up, them guys did both. Jordan did both. No problem. No one complained about it. No one said, "Oh, I had to give all my energy on offense, so I can't play no D." Like, to me, that's like the most ludicrous thing, like, or one of the most ludicrous things that I hear about today's basketball. I'm like, yo, are you serious? Like, first of all, and players rest game. They sit out games and stuff nowadays that they didn't do. So why can't you play on both ends of the ball? You know what I'm saying? It's the only sport where literally you, like, one player can affect so much outcome, you know what I mean, in the game, because it's only 10 total players on the court. So the fact that you would just take one side of the ball off is ridiculous.
I think Iverson was the first one to kind of bring that. As long as you get buckets on offense, it's okay if you're not great on defense, kind of like momentum into the league. And then you followed it up with guys like Steph and stuff like, and Harden. It's like this generation of players coming up, like, they don't take pride. Like, I know it's different than the NBA, but if I'm playing ball and Alabama scoring me, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Like, these guys don't take pride in guys not scoring on them. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna get a bucket on the other end, so it's all right.
I think
go bucket for bucket.
I think the thing with kind of what happened with Iverson is, it was more so about size than anything, in terms
definitely.
Of, like, so, because obviously he was still an amazing passing lane defender, just like how Steph gets a lot of steals. But
he had a lot of steals. Yeah, you're right. It was that passing lane. Yep.
But he was just too small.
Yeah, and that's why, like, Isaiah Thomas has the worst defensive rating in the league, but that's a lot to do with his size, so it is what it is. But like on that offensive end, like, you be cooking, but it's no excuse, like, for like somebody like Harden when you're that big. Like, anybody that's that size, like stop it, dog.
Are the Wizards going to the Eastern Conference Finals? Is that stamped now?
Well, I would say this. I don't want to go that far this early, because I don't know what's going to happen in terms of health. You saw what happened to Bogut or whatever. Anything can happen, because Bradley Beal hurt his ankle last game, but he still played, and I was impressed. Bradley Beal played through that injury, and he was limping. He played through it, and he still played tough. But they're only 3 games behind right now, Boston, for the number 2 spot.
And Boston's in like a slight rough patch right now too.
Yeah. So right now, what I'm saying is, I think the Wizards are going to be the 2nd seed in the East. That's what I would say. I don't know about Eastern Conference Finals, but as of right now,
that's a bold prediction right there. I can see it.
It could definitely happen. I mean, like think about it. Like you say, we right there on the heels of Boston. I feel as though, like, we could beat Boston even if we didn't have home court advantage. Right. I would prefer not to have to face the Cavs until the Eastern Conference Finals. So
that's the key.
Definitely staying out of that 4 spot, it would be a good look. So
as long as they avoid the Cavs in the playoffs, I don't feel like it matters who they play or where they play. They'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they end up on that side with the Cavs, then you might as well wrap it up, because it's over.
Oh, man. Lastly on the docket, what'd you say, D?
I just can't believe you saying that the Wizards, number 2 seed, Eastern Conference Finals.
It's a new day.
Goodness,
it's a new day.
Ernie Grunfeld, 5-year extension.
No, Keith Thurman beats Danny Garcia. Who saw the fight?
I saw it. I watched it.
What did you think? Was it called fairly, or was it a little funny business?
Nah, it was definitely called fairly, and I thought it was actually a really good fight. It showed that Garcia struggles with speed, and he doesn't have a lot of speed. And so Thurman's speed kind of overwhelmed Garcia, and Thurman came out like the first 3 rounds, and he put those rounds in the bank. Like, he came out and put the pressure on him, and threw more punches than him, and made sure that he got those early rounds. So at the end, he won the fight. And the one judge calling it shouldn't have been a split, but it was home team cooking. You know what I'm saying? Because it was in Garcia's, you know what I'm saying, in New York. So, but it shouldn't have been a split. It was a good fight, and it was close, but it wasn't a split fight. I mean, Thurman clearly won the fight.
Dog, pray for me, dog. Pray for me about this Jones. Young, we can spend 60 seconds on the Capitals, dog. These Bama's frying. 13-game winning streak just got ended. All right, that's it for hockey.
If you want to give my man, Bogut,
That's right. You already know.
getting injured already, just came back.
Oh, that Bama knees. Spaghetti sauce.
Had a freakish injury.
That's what you get, man. Trying to join the Cavs, dog. How you gonna jive? Like, you was right there in the finals, and hated them, and then you gonna jump on them the next year? Like,
Because he got
JD.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the finals though. Like, I don't know. I did mid-season too. Like, not like a whole year. I wouldn't even really thought nothing of the joint for the whole year. But it's like, oh yeah, let me go to them. Like, you could have picked a bunch of teams in the playoffs. You do already have a title. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just me.
I think he wanted to have the best chance to get revenge on the Warriors.
Because they let him go or traded him or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the universe smacking him upside his head for turning down an extra $3 million.
Yeah. What was that? I mean, that's just, come on, man. Millions? He turned down millions.
Yeah, he on that rock, dog. Get him out of there.
Real quick, they said that Adrian Peterson is currently eyeing the Raiders and the Seahawks. So Craig,
ends up in Seattle. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
if he ends up in Oakland with that O-line, they got the second best O-line next to Dallas in the NFL.
I feel like
Period.
they close.
Follow us at Blksports980. Follow us on iTunes, IG, all that good stuff. What else, young? I ain't getting no shots up, so you can
Free
just answer
agency?
that. Free agency. Go ahead, dog.
No, I'm just saying. We ain't talking. It started
We can
today.
get into that.
It starts today.
Nah, we can get into that next week because we're gonna have some signings and Redskins gonna be doing some funny business, and then we'll be able to like backtrack and then really go through that. So we're gonna slate that for the back end. But that's our show, yeah.
Hey, just to put the cut in here, Black. Aaron, how did that what's the name go? That conference call joint.
Oh yeah. The joint was solid. I got it recorded for y'all. I used with the Adobe. I can't think of the name of the damn
Booth?
song.
What's it called?
Audition? Yeah, Adobe Audition, and I recorded most of it once Harold said that the call was locked. But it sounds promising. You know, everything they were saying. They were saying all the right things. So it's just a matter of getting that money in.
I need to get paid.
I don't even know what y'all talking about. You know, Bama's gonna be telling me nothing, though. You know what I'm saying, dog?
You gotta log on to Facebook, man.
No, I be I don't.
That's where our negotiations take place, on Facebook.
Yeah, not the golf
Big
course.
money deals.
All right. I'm out, dog. I need the life alert jump, dog, before I pass out.
Harold said like 10 words the whole podcast. And I knew he was sick.
You could tell.
All right.
Shut up! Give me a turn to speak! Fine, see? You do that to me. How does it feel? How does it feel to be told to shut up?
We've talked about.
Let me speak! How does that feel?
not.
How does that feel?